Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Tiago da Silva, and today we're diving into some big news from the tech world that's making waves. If you're like me and not super deep into stocks or investments, don't worry, I'll break it all down in simple terms. We're talking about Nvidia, that company famous for making powerful computer chips used in everything from video games to artificial intelligence. The headline? Nvidia has reportedly told some of its suppliers to pause production on a special chip called the H20, which was made just for the Chinese market. This comes right as China is cracking down on the company over security worries. Let's unpack this step by step, and I'll share my thoughts along the way. I find this stuff fascinating because it shows how global tech and politics mix in ways that affect everyday innovation. First off, a quick primer on Nvidia for anyone new to this. Nvidia makes graphics processing units, or GPUs. These are like super fast brains for computers that handle complex tasks, especially AI stuff like training chatbots or analyzing data. China is a huge market for them because so many tech companies there are building AI tools. But things got tricky last year when the US government put restrictions on exporting high-end chips to China, worried they could be used for military purposes. Nvidia came up with the H20 as a toned-down version that still works well for commercial AI but isn't as powerful, so it could get around those rules. Personally, I think it's smart how companies adapt like that. It's like redesigning a sports car to fit speed limits without losing too much performance. Now, the latest twist, according to reports from The Information and Reuters, Nvidia has asked key suppliers to stop making parts for the H20. We're talking about companies like Amkor Technology in Arizona, which handles the fancy packaging of these chips, Samsung in South Korea for the memory components, and even Foxconn, that's the big manufacturer also known as Han Hai, famous for assembling iPhones. These suppliers haven't commented yet, but Nvidia spokesperson said they're just managing their supply chain based on market conditions. That sounds like corporate speak for things are changing fast and we're adjusting. From my perspective, it's a bummer because it means potential delays or losses. Nvidia already had to write off $4.5 billion in unsold inventory earlier this year due to export bans, and they said sales could have been $2.5 billion higher without restrictions. Imagine having that much product just sitting there. It's a reminder of how unpredictable international trade can be. This all stems from China's side of things. A few weeks ago, the Chinese government reportedly told local tech giants like ByteDance, that's TikTok's parent, Alibaba, and Tencent to stop buying H20 chips because of security concerns. They summoned Nvidia last month to explain, asking for details on the chips. The big worry? Beijing thinks they might be backdoors or tracking tech in them, basically hidden ways for someone outside to remotely control or spy on the chips. Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang spoke about this in Taiwan recently. He said they were surprised by the questions but assured everyone there are no backdoors. He even mentioned they're in discussions with the Chinese government and hopes it'll get resolved soon. Huang also added that China had actually urged them to get U.S. export licenses for the H20, and he's been working hard on that. I appreciate his straightforwardness here. It feels like he's trying to bridge the gap between two big powers without picking sides. Interestingly, this isn't just China's paranoia. There's similar talk in the U.S. too. In May, some U.S. lawmakers, including Republican Senator Tom Cotton and a bipartisan group from the House, introduced the Chip Security Act. It would require companies like Nvidia to add security features and location verification to advanced AI chips, kind of like GPS tracking, to ensure they're not misused. But Nvidia pushed back in a statement, saying the H20 isn't for military or government use, it's for commercial business. They pointed out that China wouldn't rely on U.S. chips for sensitive stuff, just like the U.S. wouldn't use Chinese ones. And they emphasized that allowing these sales is good for everyone, boosting innovation without risks. My take? It's a fair point. Tech like this drives progress in AI for things like better healthcare or smarter apps, and cutting off markets hurts that. But I get the security fears. It's like locking your front door. You want to be safe, even if it means less convenience. This whole saga highlights Nvidia's tough spot between Washington and Beijing. Just last month, it seemed like a win when the U.S. said they'd issue export licenses for the H20, letting shipments resume after a ban in April. Huang had been lobbying against restrictions, arguing they hurt Nvidia's business in China, which is super lucrative. He even shared that he talked with President Trump about the importance of American AI tech globally, saying AI will advance worldwide with or without the U.S., so we should maximize exports while we can. But now, with China's national security review ongoing, those shipments are in doubt again. Analysts say this could push China harder towards making their own chips, reducing reliance on American tech. One analyst even noted that access to the H20 won't give China a big AI edge anyway, since it's not the top-tier stuff. Personally, I wonder if this back and forth will lead to more self-sufficiency everywhere, countries building their own tech stacks to avoid these headaches. Wrapping this up, it's clear Nvidia is navigating a minefield of trade tensions, security probes, and market shifts. The company insists the H20 is safe and beneficial, and they're hopeful for a resolution. But for now, production pauses mean uncertainty for suppliers, workers, and the broader AI industry. I think it's a wake-up call about how interconnected the world is. One government's decision ripples out to affect jobs and innovation far away. If you're interested in tech news like this, stick around. I love sharing these stories in a way that's easy to follow. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time. If you enjoyed this and learned something new, it would mean the world to me if you'd give it a like. And hey, if you want more breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. I'm just a guy passionate about tech, trying to make sense of it all with you. Take care, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.